what is soft power? Well, I know it when I see it. That right? That's like probably they're not the right answer, and it's a little too flip for this conversation. But a couple of things. I would say what I'm talking about is not our military power and not intelligence. So I'd start with that. So I'd say it's you could use another proxy would be what's called the 150 account in the US system. That is the development and diplomacy budget. So I'm also pro ideas of diplomacy, but I'm particularly interested in development and things adjacent to development. So I'm interested in development finance. I'm interested in export credit agencies. I'm interested in cultural and education exchanges. I'm interested in leadership in the multilateral system. I missed a couple of things in chapters in my book. Like I'd have probably talked more if I write a second book. I would do a second book just on public diplomacy and strategic communications because that's part of soft power. I would also argue that trade and leading a trading system and supporting freer trade is a form of soft power. And I didn't talk enough about that, and I don't talk enough. I refer to it a little bit in the book about the leading on standards. That we want to be a standards maker, not a standards taker. But I would probably could do more. I've talked about that. So if I wrote a second book, it's for sure. So the other thing I would say is it's an imprecise term, sort of like the term global south. So we use the term the global south because like the other terms are either offensive or like incomplete or like not great. So we've all kind of settled on like a safe term, which is the global south. So soft power is an incomplete shorthand term for a bunch of things other than military and intelligence. And I'd say development is a big chunk of it, but it's not the totality of it. The other thing I would say is soft power doesn't get a lot of respect. So if you're a national security person or you're a grand strategy person, you think all this stuff is crap or fluffy or hippy dippy. And so like Robert Gates, the former Secretary of Defense, the former head of the CIA, like he gets this stuff. He's like, yeah, we need a lot of like not Jim Mattis, the former Secretary of Defense, says like, if you're going to cut the foreign aid budget, then you better spend more on bullets, right? So you've all heard that term. Well, so I think I'd say it's the most sophisticated thinkers in the national security space and in the understand it. Now it's sort of like love and marriage or chocolate and peanut butter. Like you can't solve all the problems just with the World Bank or foreign aid or food aid. Like you need other things. But I would say it's an important thing that's underappreciated, partially because I also think a lot of people in the aid community don't like seeing themselves as part of some bigger project. They want to save the world, and they don't want to be part of some national security anything. They don't want to be quote unquote securitizing aid. They want to do other things. They want to kind of work. They didn't sign up for this, but guess what? I see development as a form of applied foreign policy, like applied math. It's a form of applied foreign policy. And so a lot of people don't like that. It doesn't get enough respect in kind of like the diplomacy world, and it doesn't get enough respect in the national security world. But the serious people understand like the smarter ones see it and value it. And so I also was trying to like make a new case, provide a new rationale for global development and things adjacent to global development. Because there are already people on this podcast who listen who are in favor of global development. But I wrote the American Imperative for people who maybe aren't necessarily kind of in the biz or folks who wanted to take a vacation from global leadership. So I'm trying to reach people who are reachable to make a new case and reframe the case for global development and things adjacent to global development.